Have you recently decided to learn React, but you're kind of lost because the React ecosystem is kind of a mess and there are so many tools and so many different names that you'll need to learn about and you don't know exactly where they fit and what tools exactly you need? If that sounds anything like you, then this video is for you. First and most important thing to understand is React is just
a library for creating user interfaces.
By itself, React doesn't come with a way to create different pages or handle URLs. It also does not come with data fetching logic, so there's no built-in mechanism for making API calls or caching server data. React also doesn't offer a performant and efficient solution to manage data and state across the entire application. The list of things you'd probably need in order to build a modern website with React that doesn't come with React goes on and on. In fact, React itself doesn't even give us the tooling needed to start a development server, and without an external tool, the browser wouldn't even understand our React code at all. But thankfully, scaffolding tools that also act as build tools and help us easily run a development server exist. Currently, the most popular and recommended tool to start your React project with is Vite. Before Vite came to be and became the to-go-to recommended tool, for years and years the official tool was the Create React app. You'll probably see it in older tutorials. Now that you know about creating a React project with a scaffolding tool, you should know that this represents one of two main paths for working with React. I like to call it the create your own adventure path, where we're working with a blank React canvas and we just add extra tools as we need them. I'll be telling you more about the create your own adventure stack right after we talk about the second path, which I like to call the all-in-one path. For this, you start your project with a full stack framework. These frameworks bundle React with everything you need to build a complete application. The most widely known is probably Next.js. There's also Astro, which is known for being very fast and great for content-heavy websites. And exciting new frameworks are always appearing. For example, TanStack Start looks absolutely promising. I strongly advise you to check out these frameworks yourself and decide which is the best for you and your projects. Now let's go back to talking about the choose your own adventure stack. Let's say you've used Vite to scaffold your React project. The tools you're likely going to need would fall into four main categories. First, routing. Your app would probably need pages and URLs. For years, the undisputed standard has been React Router, and it's currently the most widely used routing library out there. However, a powerful modern challenger has arisen, and it's called TanStack Router. It's gaining a ton of traction, and it's known for being fully type safe, which is a huge advantage if you're using TypeScript. Second, global state management. Your app will likely need to share data across many components. For simple modern solutions, a lot of people prefer lightweight libraries like Zustand or Jottai. They're both incredibly popular and they let you share state with minimal setup. On the other side of the spectrum, there is Redux, which you'll see everywhere on account of it being older while also being powerful. It's more suited for larger and more complex applications. Third, data fetching. Your app is likely going to need to get data from a server. The current gold standard is TanStack Query. TanStack Query really simplifies the whole process and it also handles caching out of the box. Fourth, getting user input with forms. For a simple form with just one or two fields, you absolutely do not need a library. You can manage it yourself using React's built-in useState hook. But as your forms get more complex with lots of fields, managing all that state yourself can become a real headache. Therefore, using a library like React Hook Form can really save you a lot of time as it's extremely performant and very, very easy to use. You'll often see it paired with a validation library like Zod. Now, what about making your app look good? When it comes to styling, there are 4 popular paths to choose from. First, we have the traditional way. You can just use plain CSS, or even better, CSS modules, which are supported out of the box by Vite. This lets you write standard CSS that's scoped locally to your components, so you don't have to worry about class name conflicts. Second, we have a very popular approach, which is utility-first CSS. A popular example and a library I personally really love working with, especially when styling my React projects, is Tailwind. The ability to add pre-made utility classes directly into your React components really simplifies the whole styling process and can save tons of time. Third, we have component libraries. There are many great component libraries to choose from that can help you build professional-looking applications very quickly. This massive category includes Material UI, Bootstrap, Chakra UI, Ant Design, and the list goes on. They give you a huge set of pre-built, accessible, themable components right out of the box. And finally, you'll often encounter a pattern called CSS-in-JS. It's exactly what it sounds like. You write your CSS inside your JavaScript files. Popular examples include styled components and emotion. They allow you to create components with dynamic styles that can easily be changed based on state or props. We've covered a lot of ground already. We've covered framework, routing, styling. If you're feeling overwhelmed, that's completely normal and quite understandable. But I have a piece of advice that I feel might be helpful. If you come across a name of a tool, library, or framework that you've never heard of, ask yourself one question. What problem is this meant to solve? Once you know the answer, it stops being a scary name and becomes a tool you can choose to put in your toolbox. Remembering to ask this question has helped me a lot over the years, and I hope it helps you too. In fact, I hope this video was helpful to you somehow. If it was, please give it a like, and if you're not already subscribed to my channel, please don't forget to subscribe. And if you have any questions or suggestions, please type those down in the comments. I would like to know your thoughts about this video in general and whether I didn't mention your favorite tool. Also, let me know what your React stack looks like right now. And if you haven't started with React yet, I'm excited for you and I'd love to know what you're planning to start with. See you in the next video. Bye!